Drake a genius. Despite me disrespecting him as a man, I respect that career.
Young boys ain't going gates. Those who fake they break. When they hit their 400-pound weight.
Memphis, them rubber bands, they show people your grind is money. Here they just quick to see it and claim it. It's kind of funny. They buy into the gimmick instead of saying it's him again. They tried and it take them too long to realize they mimicking. Said that people had trouble and they...
When he first came in the game, I knew he was going to be the next biggest thing.
The only person that put on for me when I ain't have nobody was Drake.
The journey begins with a young boy from Toronto named Aubrey Graham. He dreams of making it big in the hip-hop world, but starts small by landing a role on a Canadian TV series. Though he comes from humble beginnings, Graham is talent that starts to capture the hearts of viewers. As his mixtapes gain traction online, a buzz builds and launches Graham onto the global stage under his rap persona, Drake. He collaborates with icons like Lil Wayne, dominates the charts with infectious hits about love and success, and pioneers a seamless fusion of rapping and singing. For over a decade, the charismatic Drake takes the entertainment industry by storm, breaking records and dazzling fans worldwide with his words of wisdom. But even as tensions emerge with other artists, Drake's focus on his craft keeps his star shining bright. His catchy songs about the highs and lows of fame connect with millions as he elevates into legendary status. Do you want to know Drake's formula for success? Let's explore the key moments that turned an ordinary kid from Canada into an extraordinary pop culture phenomenon.
Are you ready? Are you sure? Well, let's get it then.
Our story starts back in 1986 when a future megastar, Aubrey Drake Graham, was born in Toronto, Canada. But his early life was far from glamorous. The cards seemed stacked against him from the start. When Drake was just 5 years old, his parents divorced and money became extremely tight for his mother Sandy, a teacher struggling to raise young Aubrey alone. They lived in Toronto's working-class West End neighborhood in a cramped basement apartment that felt worlds away from the 50,000-square-foot mega mansion Drake would one day own. He attended public school near wealthy Forest Hill, where he faced bullying and isolation for being Black, Jewish, and from a single-parent household. But if this environment bothered young Drake, he never let it show. And did you know Drake's childhood was filled with rhythm and beats? Thanks to his dad, Dennis Graham, who drummed alongside the legendary Jerry Lee Lewis. With music running through his veins from an early age, it's no wonder Drake grew up to become a chart-topping hip-hop superstar. After dropping out of school, his big break came at age 15, when he skyrocketed to fame playing paralyzed basketball star Jimmy Brooks on the hit Canadian TV show Degrassi: The Next Generation. Practically overnight, Drake was earning a sweet $40 grand per year on the show. But entertainment was always just a side hustle for the young star. Because ever since he was a child, Drake dreamed of becoming a rap superstar. He constantly scribbled lyrics and honed his flow and wordplay, staying up late after Degrassi shoots to practice. Hip-hop was always Drake's true passion. He revered idols like Jay-Z and Kanye West, studying their music as textbooks. While peers focused on school and girls, Drake had tunnel vision for one goal only: to become the biggest rapper in the world. In 2006, Drake self-released his first mixtape, Room for Improvement, featuring amateurish raps over soulful beats. After all, despite his fame, Drake was still just testing the rap waters. Room for Improvement showcased his potential, with tracks criticizing superficial lifestyles and promoting real values. But it also exposed Drake's inexperience. His voice sounded forced against the beats. This was merely a stepping stone as he worked to develop his signature flow. Drake refined his sound on 2007's comeback season, sounding more polished and confident. On Replacement Girl, he landed a buzzworthy music video on BET, a first for an unsigned Canadian rapper. Drake was no longer Jimmy Brooks by day and aspiring rapper by night. His two careers were colliding as momentum built. The true turning point arrived in February 2009, when Drake released his breakthrough mixtape, So Far Gone. Buoyed by the smash hits Best I Ever Had and Successful, Drake became an overnight hip-hop sensation. So Far Gone received widespread critical acclaim and turned Drake from amateur to star. Gone was Aubrey Graham, the insecure child actor. In his place stood Drizzy Drake, the new prince of hip-hop with the talent and confidence to back up his boasts. Drake had shaped his voice into a lethal blend of singing and rapping. Tracks like Houston, Atlanta, Vegas showed his versatility to be vulnerable one moment and dismissively arrogant the next. So Far Gone made Drake a household name and ignited a major label bidding war. In June 2009, Lil Wayne's Young Money label signed Drake for $2 million. Practically overnight, he went from independent artist to one of rap's most buzzworthy stars. For Drake, it was the culmination of a journey that began as a child scribbling lyrics in his bedroom. Through hard work, unrelenting confidence, and keen songwriting, Drake willed his far-fetched dreams into reality. Before the dazzling spotlight and screams of millions, Drake was just a kid with hip-hop dreams. He kept his head down for years, steadily expanding his fan base with catchy mixtapes like Comeback Season. Bit by bit, he honed his craft and his confidence grew. By 2009, Drake could feel it in his bones. Music was his destiny. This wasn't just a hobby anymore. This was the night where everything changed for Drake. A friend invited him to showcase his skills at a concert after-party. The room fell silent when rap icon Lil Wayne took the stage and challenged Drake to impress him by freestyling over the beat. Imagine standing there, the biggest star in hip-hop eyeing you down, the pressure to prove yourself amplified before a skeptical crowd. With all eyes burning into him, Drake summoned the courage buried deep within and spit fiery bars from his soul. Lil Wayne was visibly blown away. Days later, he offered Drake a $2 million record deal to join his label, Young Money. Practically overnight, Drake rocketed from obscurity to hip-hop's most buzzworthy up-and-comer. Major stars tapped him for collaborations, while the public clamored to hear more. You could feel his destiny manifesting in real time. Then, summer 2009 arrived, and Drake's smash single Best I Ever Had became an undeniable sensation. His innovative fusion of rap braggadocio and R&B vulnerability struck a chord with audiences. Drake had captured lightning in a bottle with his genuine openness about chasing crushes and first loves. Fans ate up the contagious melodies and hard-on-sleeve lyrics. After years honing his craft in obscurity, Drake was finally connecting with listeners in a meaningful way. In the span of just 3 years, he embodied the classic rags to riches story. His unprecedented ascent as a half-black Jewish-Canadian former child actor was nothing short of incredible. Almost single-handedly, Drake expanded hip-hop's boundaries with his ability to rap and sing with pop instincts. His fresh blend of styles opened doors for future artists to explore new sounds. Hip-hop had found an uncommon star who would change the game forever. Drake's vulnerability allowed audiences to connect with him in a way most rappers didn't dare try. By staying true to himself, he earned the respect of fans and peers alike. His meteoric success proved hip-hop had room for multifaceted artists who wore their hearts on their sleeves. Just a few years prior, Drake had been a complete nobody. Now he was poised to conquer the globe with a sound entirely his own. For Drake, it was the culmination of a long journey that began as a child scribbling lyrics and rhymes in his bedroom after school. Through sheer persistence, unrelenting confidence, and undeniable talent, Drake willed his far-fetched dreams into reality. He never gave up on his lofty goals, even when facing setback after setback early on. Drake channeled his underdog mentality into a master plan for greatness. His origins may have been modest, but he was determined to prove the haters wrong and honor his hip-hop idols. Stay tuned because this was only the beginning of Drake's epic rise to stardom. The best was yet to come. You know when you first hear an album and you just know it's going to be legendary? That's exactly how it felt when Drake's debut, Thank Me Later, dropped in 2010. This was it, the changing of the guard. Out with the old, in with the new prince of hip-hop. Even though he was getting all vulnerable singing about the dark side of fame, tracks like Over proved Drake could still spit arrogant bars with the best of them, and calling on idols like Jay-Z for collaborations was a power move, letting everyone know Drake was about to be the star of the show. But that was nothing compared to what happened in 2011. Drake wasn't playing around on Take Care. That sophomore effort shattered expectations like a glass ceiling. It was clear Drizzy had leveled up in a major way. The storytelling, the confessions, the way he laid his insecurities out, it was like listening to someone's private diary set to music, except that diary was a straight-up masterpiece. He dug deeper into the dark side of fame, the emptiness of success, the pain of broken family ties. It was also relatable but also poetic. Drake made beautiful art from the messiness of heartache and regret. This wasn't just about making hit songs, though. Take Care was a daring, creative statement from a visionary artist. The honesty and vulnerability reminded me of John Lennon or Paul McCartney in their prime. After that album dropped, it was obvious. Drake deserved to be ranked among the greatest songwriters of all time. Believe all the hype surrounding this man, he earned it. Take Care was his mic drop moment, his throne to claim. Looking back to now, it was clear this album marked Drake's arrival as an all-time great. He took bold, creative risks, and it cemented his status as the voice of a generation. Years later, we're still unpacking the layers of genius from that album. It resonated so deeply because Drake exposed himself in a way few artists dare. He gave us more than just bars and beats. He gave us his whole heart and soul. And that is what the greats do. They show us their humanity through art. October's very own was destined for the Hall of Fame after Take Care. If that album didn't convince you of Drake's brilliance, nothing will. But real recognized real, and in 2011, we witnessed the birth of a legend. After grinding for years in obscurity, Drake finally reached the mountaintop with Take Care. His masterful songwriting allowed us into his mind and experiences like never before. The album title says it all. This was his magnum opus, his baby, a refined labor of love, years in the making. While debut album Thank Me Later experienced success, Drake was left feeling disconnected from the musical content. He knew he could take his artistry even higher. Take Care became that vessel, a gift for true music fans on a whole other creative level. Drake doubled down on the minimalist R&B influences, alternating rapping with buttery smooth vocals. The tempo was slowed down to complement the dark, somber aesthetic. But this was no rehash. Take Care teleported to another dimension. Now perched at the top, Drake let us into his mind like never before. His lyrics walked the line between cocky braggadocio and fragile insecurity. The tracks felt more like raw, intimate conversations over production, whether addressing past and present loves, the loneliness of fame, or giving touching tribute to the family who raised him. Drake bled emotion through every song. You could feel the frustration on doing it wrong, the ego on headlines, the melancholy regret of Marvin's Room.
I don't think I'm conscious of making monsters out of the women I sponsor till it all goes.
This was his masterwork, the album that cemented Drake as the voice of the culture and tastemaker for a generation. After Take Care, there was no denying October's very own deserved the throne. The student had become the teacher. Hip-hop would never be the same. With that career-defining album, Drake solidified himself as a hip-hop legend. But his meteoric rise to fame also put him in the orbit of another icon, Rihanna. After her messy breakup with Chris Brown, sparks flew when Aubrey and Riri were spotted getting cozy in 2009. Drake and Rihanna have had a complicated romance full of ups and downs over the years. Their love story first sparked in May 2009, shortly after Rihanna's messy breakup from Chris Brown. Page 6 reported that the two were spotted getting cozy at Lucky Strike Lanes and Lounge in New York City. Sources said Rihanna and Drake were making out all night and seemed really cute together. However, Rihanna was quick to downplay the reports, insisting they were just friends. Little did fans know, Drake was harboring deeper feelings for Riri. "I was a pawn," he admitted in a 2010 interview. "You know what she was doing to me? She was doing exactly what I've done to so many women throughout my life, which is show them quality time, then disappear." He added that Rihanna was an overwhelming and incredible person. Even though she didn't reciprocate Drake's affections at the time, it was clear he had fallen hard for her. Over the next few years, Drake continued collaborating, releasing 5 chart-topping hits together, including What's My Name and Work. They kept the romance rumors swirling with flirty performances and social media posts. But despite their undeniable musical chemistry, the timing was never quite right for Drake to become official. Their back-and-forth relationship gave us emotional whiplash. Drake and Rihanna's chemistry produced musical magic, but their romance remained star-crossed. Still, working with Riri skyrocketed Drake's profile as he transitioned from rising star into a full-fledged global icon. After Drake's legendary Take Care album in 2011, it was clear he was poised to become an unstoppable force in music. And that prophecy proved true as he went on to shatter Billboard records and cultural norms over the next decade. Tracks like Started From the Bottom and Hotline Bling made Drake a household name by 2012. He pioneered a blend of rapping and singing that felt smoother than butter. Before long, Drake's brand was inescapable. He'd become the moon himself, reflecting off all corners of pop culture. Memes with Drake lyrics became ubiquitous online. Viral moments like his Hotline Bling dance moves took over social media. His His owl logo and OVO merchandise were suddenly fashion statements. He even transcended music to become the global ambassador for his beloved Toronto Raptors basketball team. Simply put, Drake was the undisputed king of pop culture. Flash forward to today and these stats speak for themselves. Drake has dominated the 2010s unlike any other musician in history. He's achieved a record-setting 11 consecutive chart-topping albums, with each project making history along the way. Views in 2016 gave Drake his first #1 on the Billboard 200. Scorpion in 2018 was the first album to exceed 1 billion streams in its debut week. And 2021's Certified Lover Boy broke the record for most top 10 singles from one album. At just 36 years old, Drake's list of accolades is already miles long. He's won 4 Grammy Awards, 2 Brit Awards, and set records across every streaming platform imaginable. His music videos alone have been viewed over 20 billion times on YouTube. Drake could easily rest on his laurels at this point in his career. But in fact, the best may still be yet to come from the man who seemingly came out of nowhere as a child actor, only to conquer music and the internet through the sheer infectiousness of bops like In My Feelings. The next generation eagerly awaits whatever hit-making magic Champagne Papi decides to cook up next. If the past decade is any indicator, he's far from finished redefining the boundaries of pop music and etching his name in the history books. The student has undoubtedly become the teacher. But beyond the mind-boggling statistics, Drake's genius lies in his relatability. In an era dominated by larger-than-life personas, he's remained accessible and vulnerable with his fans. His openness about fame, heartbreak, family, and more makes his music a cherished companion. Perhaps that is Drake's greatest achievement, crafting a decade-spanning soundtrack that captures the full complexity of human emotions and experiences. Drake's journey from humble beginnings in Toronto to becoming a global superstar is truly inspirational. Through raw talent and sheer determination, he willed his far-fetched dreams into reality. Beyond the accolades and records, Drake's genius lies in his ability to craft music that resonates deeply through its honesty. His lyrics provide a soundtrack for the highs and lows of fame, love, and life itself. Now, over a decade into his career, Drake stands tall as a living legend. But if the past is any indicator, he still has plenty left to accomplish. As Drake himself said, "Last name ever, first name greatest." For him, the best may still be yet to come. If you want to hear more tea-sippy tales behind the fame and fortune of icons like Drake, smash that subscribe button quicker than Champagne Papi can write a breakup ballad. You'll never miss out on the best stories about the most amazing celebrities. If you want to hear more juicy tales behind the fame, riches, and wild antics of icons, be sure to check out our previous video on how the Beatles changed the world. Now remember, squad, the key is to always keep dreaming big and discover the biggest stories with us.